Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I will try to animate this session, which is the most challenging one after 2 days and after lunch. It was a gift, but I will try to manage. I wanted to check if our online speakers are with us. Fidele, Nora,
Hello, everyone.
Are already connected?
I'm not sure if you can hear us. I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you very much. So just a small and brief introduction from my side. I'm project manager on gender equality at the Social and Civil Affairs at the Union for Mediterranean, which is an intergovernmental organization covering 43 member states. And the gender equality agenda is one of the pillars of our strategy. We are now at the 5th ministerial declaration in 10 years, meaning that there is a strong commitment for the national policymakers. But our added value is not just to work on the policy level, but to work on bridging the policy level to the project level. And this is why we are developing different activities with the support of international donors, and the Spanish Cooperation Agency is one of them, on developing specific initiatives and programs at regional level. One of these, as mentioning yesterday in his opening remarks from our Deputy Secretary General, is a program that we have called Gender and Food Security, supporting social innovation and technological innovation for women entrepreneurs in the agro-food value chain as a tool to prevent food insecurity. This is the main objective of the program, meaning providing support to women entrepreneurs in terms of training and capacity building, but at the same time to bring at the table the policymakers to adopt a regional agenda on gender and food security. Of course, we are not going to do this alone. We have already discussed it with our partner, CIHEAM, with PRIMA, which unfortunately cannot be with us today, with the FAO, with the UNDP, and with some countries. This activity will be developed in the next 1 year and a half. And as the next step, we are going to launch a technical assistant to support us in doing a mapping exercise about the training, the capacity building, but also the agendas available on this specific topic in the region, and to organize a training for 1 day and a half in Cairo in October, after the 15th of October, in the framework of the celebration of International Day of Rural Women, and to be followed back to back by an institutional policy dialogue where we would like to give a follow-up to this 2 days discussion. And in terms of how to use the outcomes and the recommendation that will come out from yesterday and today discussion, and how to embed them in the regional agenda. So this is the first step, but there will be a follow-up in the next month. So you will be contacted, you will be involved, and hopefully we can meet in Cairo in October. But today we are going to focus more specifically on what the regional organization like CIHEAM or the UFM or the association and the women entrepreneurs are developing in the region in terms of innovation in the agro-food value chain, and how innovation from a social innovation perspective, a technological perspective, can help women empowerment to become, let's say, actors in economic development. I think in these 2 days, everybody has mentioned the feminization of the agro-food system. I would say that we are also facing a feminization of vulnerability. So women in rural areas are always associated to vulnerability. Our challenge is to change a little bit this narration. So women are not vulnerable because they belong to a category of vulnerability. They are made vulnerable by the lack of specific gender responsive policies. So how we can change and we can challenge this, starting from some good practices that are already implemented. And this is why I'm happy to be here today with these beautiful ladies and inspiring stories who are fully committed from different perspectives, from academia, from research, from international organization, and from the ground and social perspective, and from the business perspective online with Fidele and Yosra and Nouha, about the possibility to see how innovation can be brought to the business development of women entrepreneurs in the region working on the agro-food system. And without further ado, I would like to give the floor, sorry, just to not mix the right order of intervention. Okay. So we will start with Professor Yosra Ahmed Soltan El-Rahman. So I hope I pronounced it well. She is a full professor at the Alexandria University, and she has been honored by the PRIMA Women Greening Food System Award for her projects mitigating livestock greenhouse gas emissions, innovations, and impact. And the project focusing on reducing methane emission from livestock while enhancing productivities. Just for information, the PRIMA Award has been launched last year, and 4 women from European and non-European countries were awarded with a prize of 10,000 euros to be invested in innovation. The second edition has been already launched. The application can be submitted by 15th of June until 15th of July. And hopefully we will be able to have the award ceremony with us in October in Cairo. We will work on it with PRIMA. Yosra, thank you for being with us. You have prepared a short presentation, and the presentation will try to reply to 3 main questions. The first one is about innovation and impact, which was in the title of your project. How did you identify the combination of natural feed as a viable strategy to mitigate methane emission in livestock? How can this low-cost and climate-smart innovation can be useful to empower women farmers and women entrepreneurs? And which kind of challenges and solutions you see in scaling up this kind of innovation? Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for all of you. And it is my pleasure here to be with you and participate in such valuable event today. Thank you for CIHEAM and for all the organizers. First, as you said, that I'm here because I'm one of the winners of the PRIMA.
Yosra, sorry, can you just speak louder or closer to the micro of the computer? Okay.
Hello, did you hear me?
Yes, better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First, I have to say thank you for all of you and for the participation in such a valuable event today. As you see that, as you introduced myself, I am Yosra Soltan. I am one of the winners of the PRIMA for Women in Science, Women in Greening Food Systems. This award was, the first announcement for this award was in 2024, the last year, and it was awarded in 2025, this year. And we thought, all of us, that this is a message for all women, especially for youth, that their potentials, their ideas, their leadership are matters. So simply say, keep going. We were 4 winners. We were Marta from Portugal, Soraya from Egypt, myself, Yosra from Egypt also, and Fanny from Greece. All of the winners were working with the greening food systems of how to produce organic materials there, or using phytochemicals and using natural products and natural treatments that can we obtain a safe and a safe product from animals. It's like milk, eggs, meat. All of them are free of the residuals of chemicals or antibiotics or any issues that can affect the health or human health consumption. Our first, I'm focusing in my project, as you asked me, why we focused in using such natural products or such natural treatments that we are going to use. The first, this is a story we started from last 15 years ago. And we started to use the adaptation strategies for reducing greenhouse gas emissions from ruminants. This is because the ruminant production is responsible for the major greenhouse gas from the agriculture sector. It being a methane emission, especially methane emission, which have higher potential than the other gases as a potent greenhouse gas. So our focus was first to how to mitigate, how to adapt it. Sorry, the first one was how to adapt it for the strategies using local for the Mediterranean, especially in the southern of the Mediterranean, local plants that are capable of reducing methane emission, enhancing animal health, enhancing feed efficiency, and at the same time be safe for human consumption. We used many materials like acacia, leucaena, shrubs, and then after we went through the pandemic of COVID-19 through 2020, we started a new challenge. We started a challenge with all the imported feed additives were stopped suddenly. So we have to use our local, our available resources which we have to overcome these problems that was happened during this period. So we started to innovate or to develop new products from our lands, especially how to convert or transfer the wastes, the agricultural wastes that can't be consumed either for human consumption or for animals into another valuable products, or feed additives. We have a very, very successful story because we lead for many projects and research projects here in Alexandria University. One of them, how to produce biochar, which is a high valuable product to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and enhances animal productivity. And this is from the rice husk and the bagasse of sugarcane. These products were actually wastes and can't be used. But when we modified the biochar and reduced it, we reached 60% reducing of greenhouse gas from small ruminants like goats and sheep, which were very important animals here in our lands. Then here I'm just speaking about the barriers or the challenges or the problems that we faced through our work. Actually, the access barriers, most of the smallholders or most of the animal production here in Egypt, on either the north of Africa, with the hands of smallholders. Unfortunately, most of these smallholders are women, and they don't have access to financial resources or technical supports or animal or even land ownership. Maybe this is the most important, especially the women, they are working with poultry production. Also, the most important problem with the low awareness, either for the importance of reducing a greenhouse gas from ruminants, either with the idea or the concept of how to convert the wastes or the agricultural wastes into byproducts which have higher valuable nutritional effects. This is the challenges. Let me see the opportunities at the same time. We have recently, and since we have now changes in many political or many ideas that or rules, like the regulations or law. Its name or called 23. This rule is to allow for the academia, allow for the researchers and the members of the universities to have their startups or enterprise. So you can have a linkage between the industry and between the stakeholders and between also the consumers. And this is this is the way we are going to do here in our research centers and in our university, Alexandria University. We are working in a very strong steps into the technology park. And this is, I think it will be a very good way that we are going to do. We are focused especially for the innovators or for the innovations and how we can start from our local or our resources that are wasted or can be lost through the manipulation of fraud through the management of the funds. Also, the supports that we are going to, or the supports what already eligible for, like PRIMA project, Horizon 2020, and other programs that you provided for all the countries, either for the north or either for the south. I think it brings a very strong opportunity for all women can be involved. So our mission today is we have already in our project, we already trained for many, not just students, but we have trainings for many social populations here in the university. It brings more than 100 little girls to how to convert such wastes to available products that can enhance the animal efficiency and at the same time save the human health. And this is our way we are going to do. This is not our mission from farm to fork. Now it is from lab to fork. And thank you so much for my presentation today. Thank you for all of you.
Thank you very much, Yosra. And what you mentioned in terms of barriers to technology transfer and access to finance and the need to have also the support from both the policy level, but also the collaboration and partnership, I think has been already mentioned several times during the last 2 days. So it's not something affecting only Egypt, but I think it's a common challenge also for European countries. And I think being here today with CIHEAM, who is working on this technological transfer from the tech to the market, I think it's a very good opportunity also to see how we can support this. Thank you very much. And talking about bridging innovation and business development, I'm happy now to introduce our next speaker. She's online. Fidele, nice to meet you again online and hopefully soon physically. Fidele is the founder and CEO of FoodSight, which is a digital platform that connects experts and producers in the agro-food industries and to tackle challenges as limited technical support of job creation. And you offer services to promote sustainability, food safety, and economic growth. Now, this is a very challenging topic, especially in the region, because already supporting in general business development is a challenge, but when we go to the women-led businesses is even an additional layers of difficulties. Now, in your presentation, I would appreciate if you could highlight some aspects. First of all, what the challenges that you face when building this kind of platform, which brings innovation and business growth in a very specific area like the agro-food system. The second question is bridging innovation and business development for women entrepreneurs. which are, in your opinion, because you work in Lebanon, but you work also on regional level, the challenge for this access to innovation? And last point, we talk a lot about green and digital transitions. We don't have yet a definition of what is green entrepreneurship. We don't have a definition of what is digital entrepreneurship, but you are working on both of them. So what are the digital tools that could help to bridge innovation and business development in a greener agro-food system? Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
Okay,
please go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you again, Anna, for the intro, and I'm so glad to join you even virtually. As you mentioned, Anna, this is a challenging and very critical topic, how to really bridge the gap between the topics of agri-food systems, digital transformation, automating and technology, the green aspect of it, and how actually can we link all of these together. So thank you for giving me the floor. Well, I'm going to start by answering the first question, which is related to the challenges mainly. We tend to, obviously, in the MENA and the Mediterranean region to talk a lot about the challenges as we're working on the solutions that could really solve some of these challenges. So I'm going to start with a bit of the context within the Lebanese context, basically, and how women in the agri-food sector are part of it. So basically, this sector, specifically if I'm going to talk about Lebanon, has been going through a lot of problems and challenges. From the economical crisis, the institutional gaps, etc. So now we're having back the public sector support, hopefully. So this is something we're hopeful for. But basically, for the past 5 to 6 years, it's like a roller coaster journey, and it's very challenging for all agri-food businesses. How come talking about women who basically are more than 50% of them are in informal food production? So basically, they are either part of cooperatives or rural producers, or they have like their small businesses, but either they are not registered, or they are not licensed, or they are not part of the Chamber of Commerce. So they are an informal business and they don't receive the proper support. They are under-supported. They basically work in small-scale processing. So they don't have access to the big support, either from grants or from big programs. And here I'm going to mention also the barriers that apply to everyone in the sector when it comes to the financing. And it's not just something that we say that we lack access to finance. It's basically due to the financial situation that was in Lebanon and in the region. We weren't able to rely on banks. We weren't able to rely on loans. We were just relying on small grants. So no big financial or investment support. So this is basically the lack of access to finance that we're referring to. Even the technology, we've noticed starting 2019, 2020 that the farming sector was basically for the people with the high average age. So now we're seeing back youth joining this sector. So it's basically lack of awareness and lack of really intervention and willingness to be part of this. So now we're seeing more this that is more highlighted. And when we talk about expert knowledge, basically, so this is an important point where we've seen that people were following, or businesses were following, traditional approaches when it comes to accessing expertise or expert knowledge, either through the existing consulting companies or agencies, or relying on some specific people. So here's where we're seeing, now we're going to talk about specifically the case of FoodSight and how we really are bridging this gap when it comes to expert knowledge access. When it comes also to other barriers, we definitely talk about the gender barriers. for ownership, for access to capital, for decision making eventually. And here's women are still yet to be more involved and have more rights and have more interventions on this level. Now we've seen specifically in the Lebanese context that post-crisis we've seen a lot of innovators, a lot of youth, and specifically women, even the moms, even the rural producers who are more into not just to create something and to generate revenue, but also to really empower themselves and be part of the change. So here's where we're seeing this resilience as innovation, and they are being innovative on a lot of levels. So here I'm gonna go to the next point that you mentioned, Anna, when it comes to the innovation and the technology. So innovation is not just technology, and we've seen how a lot of producers, even when we started working with FoodSight, the initial clients or the initial adopters were like more than 70 to 80% not adopting any digital compliance tool, or they were not really relying on any digital aspect or tool to adopt to support their activities. So we've seen how there is more knowledge on this level, there is more awareness. Yet when it comes to innovation, it's still like misperceived as just I'm an innovative business entrepreneur, or I'm a woman who is innovating, so I'm just working, or I'm just working in technology, I'm just adopting a technology tool, which is not always the case. So here I'm going to talk about two levels of innovation: the social innovation and the technological innovation. Because innovation could be accessing a new market, could be working on a new product, could be improving the services or the products that we're working on. And here's where we saw that a lot of, I'm going to focus on the women and the rural producers, how they were able to really innovate and to create new products and new lines, and even innovate in the way they are doing things and the way maybe they are presenting their product, or how they are even processing the product and telling their story, and creating trust with their customers and with the audience. So this is where the innovation was focused on, and this falls under mainly social innovation, where we've been part of a lot of programs to support women in developing their businesses and their innovative products or models, either in cooperatives, in registered cooperatives, or in the digital communities, where they were more getting familiar into what they can digitize within their processes, either with the process itself, either how they are selling it through an e-commerce, for example, or how they are having like a platform or a marketplace, or an exposure a platform or network for them to expose or to network. So here, where we're talking about the peer learning, the networks, even shared kitchens, we've seen here as well, not just for women or for the rural producers, but also for businesses, the ones they want to innovate, or they want to create or develop new products, but they don't have like the funds or the budget to like open a new factory or open a new line. So instead of investing and buying this kind of equipment, so we've seen some shared kitchens where businesses are welcome to like try and test and do all of these trials and innovate on this level. And definitely the cross-sector partnership. So here, these are some of the main components of the social innovation. And we've seen a lot of success stories on this level. But the next point also talking about the technological innovation. And here's where we're talking about more bridging gaps, some of the compliance tools that are digitized, remote support, technical assistance, some traceability systems, as I mentioned, e-commerce and digital marketing. So here, basically, we're doing a lot of trainings to try to create awareness for youth, for rural producers, and for women on how to be more involved on this level, and to really tell them that it doesn't like take a lot of investment or a lot of time for them to really integrate technology and to really adopt digital tools. It could be like a simple adaptation. It could be like it could go up to this whenever they have like the team or the resources for this. So basically, we're training them on how to what could be the tools, either in systems, either in equipments or like sensors, from the farm to fork, as we say it. So basically, every step of the supply chain could involve digitization on a lot of levels, either buying an equipment or a machine, or automating a process, or either having a sensor or maybe a QR code, or adopting a system or a blockchain for traceability, or even just accessing the expertise through a digital network, or maybe also getting the information or the support or the content through digital toolkits. So so this is some of the components of the technological innovation that we're focusing on. And here's where I go towards the case study of our startup FoodSight, which started in 2019 based off all of these challenges. And we're adopting all of these tools, basically. So we're focusing on helping the business owners, and at the core of our focus are women, either when it comes to the expertise, as we have more than 300 freelance experts from around the world who provide on-demand their technical assistance services to the beneficiaries, and most of them are women. And when we talk as well about the beneficiaries and the women producers, and here where we also focus on rural producers, on cooperatives, and on youth. So we've seen how really supporting them with the adaptation of digital tools and bridging these gaps help them reduce the time to compliance, improve productivity, meet faster food regulations, and others. So how we do this, basically, we have like 3 components. We have the access to information component, which is an e-library and an e-shop page where we offer digitized content and toolkits that could be adopted at any level for any stakeholder within the agri-food supply chain. And the core of what we do, as we mentioned, the digital and on-site where needed, freelance technical assistance services on different levels, but also that are followed by project management tools, by e-learning, by capacity building, again, either on-site or virtual. And we've seen how during COVID and post-crisis, we were able to do full audits remotely. We were able to really support the producers in adopting technology and also in innovating when it comes to creating new products, launching them in the market, accessing new markets, either within Lebanon or geographically across countries. So we've been advocating for the innovation and for adopting technological solutions on this level. And definitely the most important part was to create job opportunities, create business linkages and partnerships. So here's where we partner with existing stakeholders who provide complementary services as to position our marketplace and our platform as the reference for the agri-food sector within the region, from content, from information, from talent, and from people. So by this, we try to help them like improve their business activities. And I'm going to briefly...
Sorry, Fidele, just if you can go to the conclusion, because we have a long list of contributions. Sure. Thank you.
Sure, definitely. So I'm gonna go to basically the last point that you mentioned when it comes to digital inclusion. And I've been talking about the remote technical assistance, the digital toolkits, the project management tool. When we talk about green and blue economic entrepreneurship, I can say that, again, the innovation means more inclusivity, accessibility, and being more specific to the context or to the region that we're targeting, digitization and integrating women at the heart of this, but also as we've seen, the integration of circular economy or sustainability as it's the core of the agri-food system. And we've seen how the training more practical is being more practical now to support the businesses, not just in improving their or like reducing costs or having an additional revenue stream, but also helping them integrate some activities to create and to improve and to also feed the environment on this level. I guess like the final note, maybe the important points that we can more focus on practically are supporting on a long term the women in the agri-food systems. So hopefully no more short-term grants, no more short-term pipelines, more long-term pipelines, more long-term projects that could really help them not just rely on another grant and on another grant, but could be really a roadmap for them, build a roadmap for them to innovate and to access the fund and to be able to be independent and to develop and improve and definitely training them more, providing capacity building for them more, and focusing on what could policies be developed or improved to help strengthen these mechanisms within the sector. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fidele. And as you know, I always like your capacity to always provide concrete recommendation on how to go ahead. And thank you for also structuring your presentation around this double level of innovation, social and technology. And as we need both indeed to have really impactful change when we talk about business development in agro-food sector for women. And I didn't mention at the beginning that you were one of the finalists of the CIHEAM award that was launched in 2024, together, I think, with 7 or 8 finalists. I don't remember right, but she will tell you more now. So I'm pleased now to give the floor to Yasmine Seguirat. She is our, I can say this, gender focal point. The CIHEAM organization in Paris, we have been working a lot together in terms of policy dialogue for regional, in our regional agenda, women empowerment. And we have collaborated for launching this specific CIHEAM Youth Innovation Award. And I give the floor because you are going to tell what you have achieved and what you have planned for next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. But I don't, I will go because I have a little PowerPoint, but I won't betray the secret of the jury, but Fidele and Nouha, you were in the short list of the finalists. In Spanish, I don't know how you put it on diaporama. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So Joseph, I will be very quick. Just a word about the Youth Innovation Award of the CIHEAM. For years, the CIHEAM has been putting the light on the best students in the institute. We have for years now the best thesis prizes, and I think the last winner is a student from Zaragoza. But given the importance of private sector business startup in contributing to sustainable food system in the Mediterranean region, 3 years ago we thought it was important to have in parallel of this best thesis prizes an innovation award to reward young people that are Mediterranean and that are contributing in one way to a better, sustainable, inclusive food system. So this CIHEAM Innovation Awards, what does it reward? It rewards innovative solutions that are designed and implemented by young people, so I said it, to accelerate green and blue transition processes toward more sustainable, inclusive and equitable food system. The last year edition was launched with the support of very important partners, the UFM, of course, the Mediterranean Universities Union, which is called UNIMED, and the Union of Mediterranean Confederations of Enterprises, BusinessMed. So the criteria, I will go very quickly. So it's an innovative solution that we want to reward. It can be scientific, entrepreneurial, it could be a product, a service, at least in the pilot phase. It has to show an existence, not only a theoretical existence. And it has to be, of course, developed by a Mediterranean young women or men, aged under 39 years old. Some of our partners think that 39 is not so young, but in the agricultural sector, in the rural areas, in the food sectors, we still consider that it's young entrepreneurs under 39. And of course, the project has to be implemented in the country that is in the region. So the price is a financial grant, 10,000 euro, and it has, of course, to contribute to show a contribution to environmental, social, economical sustainability in the Mediterranean region. So 2 years ago, we had the chance to have Uzdin Ezawi, who is Egyptian. So he was the winner of the first edition. Oh, what I didn't mention is that the first edition was only targeting former students from the CIHEAM. And the second edition, we wanted really to open it to all the young Mediterraneans. So he is a former student from the CIHEAM in 2022. So his project is called InSpot Innovation. And it's very interesting because it aims at improving waste management through introduction of insects that they will so the insect that recycle the product, and in this way it's a way of contributing to food security and sovereignty in Egypt. Last year, we had this second edition, so with the partners I mentioned. The winner was Hassan Jafar, and the project is also very interesting. It's called Regen R8, and it's a modular solar system that provides clean and reliable energy for various agricultural needs. And the Regen R8 reduces farmers' energy cost by 40 to 50% compared to diesel generators. So it showed really a great interest in terms of environmental impact. So that's why he's been rewarded. But we received 60 applications approximately. 9 of them were shortlisted, and they were selected by the jury to be presented during one of the most famous exhibition fair in the world related to green technology and economical and circular economy. It's called Ecomundo. So it's based in Rimini every year in Italy. And so last year we had a side event with a panel discussion with high-level speakers, and we had the opportunity to invite these finalists. Well, mainly all of them were online for problems of visa. It's always the same problem, but and so they had the possibility to present their project. So in the 9 projects that were in the short list, apart Regen, the majority were project women developed and led by women. So we have I won't go through them all, but Lucid Robotics, presented by Guadaluna Share. So Lucid Robotics it's a project that uses artificial intelligence and lasers to precisely eliminate weeds, and it replaces herbicides. So very, very important. The second project was Nouha, a network of women in aquaculture. It was presented by Marie-Lou Suc. And so it's a social entrepreneurship network that supports gender equality and inclusivity in aquaculture. We had also the project Noceanus. Noceanus has been presented by Alexandra Martinez, and it develops video games to protect the oceans by combining entertainment with social responsibility. We had also the project Way, but it's Nouha will present it better than me, and the project of Fidele, FoodSight, that you had a presentation before. So just to give you an idea of this initiative and this project, of course, we will continue to award excellency through the best thesis prizes, but also through this CIHEAM Innovation Award. The next edition will be in 2006. So perhaps, I don't know, it's an open idea, but if 2006 is the year of women in agriculture, perhaps we could focus on women, but we'll have to discuss this with the General Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Yasmine. And just one comment from my side. The last two winners were men. So the next one could be women, hopefully. I know that the criteria is about the quality of the application, but yeah, exactly. Just behind, but they are coming. Thank you very much to CIHEAM and for your engagement and also financial support to this award. And we will be sure to promote the award, the next edition, when it will be ready and open to all the region. And talking about one of the finalists, I'm happy to now introduce the next speakers, Nouha Benzbir. I hope I pronounce it correctly, from Tunisia. And she is an engineer in the agro-food industries, and the project optimized the use of whey, a bioproduct of cheese production, to make sourdough for baking. Whey is often considered a pollutant, but it also enhances the bread quality by replacing yeast with sourdough, leading to improvement in the product quality. Are you already with us, Nouha?
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Nouha, yes, I'm with you.
Perfect, thank you, because I
Hello.
didn't see you, I see just the presentation, so I wanted just to be sure.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you
Okay.
very well.
Okay,
And
perfect. In your presentation, you are going to not just to talk about your project, but also to provide an answer to a few questions. One is about the circular economy and sustainability. Why did you decide to turn something that was considered waste into available resources for quality production? The second one is about technology access. What kind of support mechanism, like labs, trainings, mentorship, were most useful for you? And then in terms of market visibility, how you are engaging with local bakers or communities to commercialize and scale up your innovation. Thank you.
thank you so much. First, I would like to warmly thank CIHEAM Zaragoza for the honor of inviting me to participate in this important event. I'm glad to present our project, Valorization of Whey for Sourdough Formulation and Bread Making. Our objectives are whey valorization, optimization, sourdough powder formulation, reduce pollution and water in the environment, and enhance bread making, the quality. Each year, the global production of whey reaches nearly 3 million tons. This byproduct of the cheese industry, rich in water, lactose, proteins, and the trace of fats, is often wasted and represents a significant environmental burden. Traditional disposal methods such as releasing whey into waterways lead to severe pollution, reducing dissolving oxygen levels and harming aquatic ecosystems. Whey has a high biological oxygen demand, requiring 14 grams of oxygen per liter, which makes it an important pollutant if not properly treated. So, as a solution, our project aims to transform this waste into a valuable resource by integrated whey into sourdough for bread making.
Can you just speak a little bit closer to the micro?
Okay. It's okay now?
A little bit more?
It's okay.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
It's okay. Okay. So, as a solution, our project aims to transform this waste into a valuable so our project aims to transform this waste into a valuable resource by integrating whey into Sardaut bread making. In Tunisia, where bread consumption is among the highest in the world, whey enriched Sardaut produces more nutrients, bread with enhanced quality, unique flavor, and antioxidant properties. Laboratory tests have shown notable improvements in texture, mineral content, and protein levels compared to traditional bread, meeting consumer demand for higher quality and healthier products. Finally, neither the economic impacts, the environmental impact of this project is crucial in advancing the green and blue transition for the Mediterranean region. By reducing waste, minimizing pollution, and improving water quality, we support healthier ecosystems and preserve resources for future generations. This project embodies the principle of a circular economy and aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals, making our food systems more inclusive, sustainable, and equitable. In conclusion, whey valorization in bread making not only addresses an environmental issue, but also offers a nutrient alternative for consumers and economic benefits for producers. So the process have been patented, and I'm working on launching a startup project in this a project under the name of Velour Lactate. Also, to answer for your question, what inspired me to turn whey often see as waste into a valuable resource for bread making. As I mentioned in the presentation, the huge waste of the liquid gold, also whey is known under the name of liquid gold. It is a huge waste in the environmental, and the impact is huge. I saw as an opportunity to valorize this byproduct by incorporating it into a Sardaut formulation, creating a high value added products. Also, what support mechanism? I think that access to well-equipped labs, specialized training programs, and early-stage funding are essential, but often limited resource for women in food innovation. Personally, I found mentorship and networking opportunities equally critical for navigating technical, regulatory, and market challenges. Unfortunately, their support mechanisms are still not really equally distributed, especially in regions like mine, where women-led innovation in agri-food is still emerging. And for the market viability, we are currently engaging local artisan bakers to test and co-develop new bread recipes using the whey-based Sardaut. Throughout workshops and sampling sessions, we gather valuable feedback and build trust with potential adapters. Also, excuse me, I had this. Our goal is to create a locally anchored value to create a locally anchored value chain where traditional baking meets sustainable innovation. We are also exploring partnerships with cooperatives and local distributors to facilitate market entry and scale up. And finally, I'm working on my second patent in order to valorization the whey also in cosmetic products, which will be antifungal cream. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Nouha. And I'm learning that you're also working on the use of this innovation for cosmetic sectors, which we know in Tunisia, especially biocosmetics is one of the main value chains. So congratulations also for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations again for being a finalist in the CIHEAM Award. Before giving the floor to our next three speakers, which are physically with us today here, I would like to ask you if there is any question for our online speakers. Yes, please. Raúl, el micro, ¿tienes el micro tú? Ah, okay. Just 1 minute. It's not open. You have to open, sorry.
Hola.
Thank you. My first question to Fidele from Lebanon. I want to say if you spoke about innovation in value chain and sociological aspects, technology, but I want to see if there is the impact and environmental impact. If there is some innovations of sustainability, of biodiversity, because we know that Lebanon has a lot of local products, local vegetable or animal products. So I want to say if there is something made in their value chain about environmental aspects. The second question for Noura from Tunisia. I want to say if she contacted ESIAT, my institution, because we are in the heart of innovation and technological innovation, and we have made a lot of studies, a lot of researches about the valorization of lactoserum in energical beverage and many products. So and we have in Tunisia laws about bread production. So if I don't know if she looked the problems to the marketing of the bread that he products in his project, and another question. Voilà.
I don't know if Fidele is still with us.
Yes.
Fidele? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Did you hear the question to you?
No, basically. Can you please repeat?
Can you please, because yes, summary for the question from Fidele.
What innovation in environmental aspects and sustainability and valorization local products means biodiversity and the whole of the innovations that you mentioned in your presentation? Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure I understood properly the question.
Sorry, just to understand if the question is about the impact in terms of biodiversity.
If there is innovations on the environmental impacts, environmental aspects and innovation of sustainability.
On the environmental aspect and
projects,
innovation.
yes, and what have you do in sustainability in environment?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for the question. Well, basically, with FoodSight, typically we're focusing more on creating awareness when it comes to sustainable agri-food practices. So either through training, through capacity building, through workshops, and through practical activities. So we're helping either the farmers and the food producers implement sustainable agri-food systems, and we're training them on how they can develop circular solutions from their existing businesses. So basically, let's say when they have like a waste or like a defective product, how to develop from it another product or another line. And we've seen how cooperatives and rural producers have developed, for example, syrups or pastes or jams from like somewhat defective products, or like instead of having a lot of waste, they are creating new products. So this is one of the sustainability aspects. Also, when it comes to optimizing their processes or reducing energy usage, or optimizing the usage of energy, or reducing water usage or water treatment. So we've seen how the integration of these activities are now being more integrated, and businesses are more involved in these kind of activities. So it's not just about recycling. So, you know, this misconception of I'm only working in sustainability if I'm just recycling or reducing use of plastic, etc. But instead, they are seeing how integrating at every step within their cycle or within the supply chain, they are able to actually have a sustainable activity or practice, even if they are working on an eco-friendly packaging material, or reducing the use of some raw materials. So instead of like relying on ordering new material that could be like depleting the natural resources, so they are using other sources of raw materials, or using some of the waste and treating it to reuse it within the cycle. So yeah, these are some of the cases that we've seen on the level of sustainability within the agri-food supply chain. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Fidele. Do you want to intervene? Yes.
Just to answer your question, based on our involvement with innovators for the last 5 years, like elements for sustainability for any innovator, it's around five elements. First, availing access to finance through tailored end user financing schemes, and also like blended finance to innovators. Availing access to market, which is very important, regardless of the scale of the innovation. Technical training, entrepreneurial financial literacy, this is for the micro and small. Also having a conducive enabling environment for the policy framework and like advocacy. And having these five together is very hard. Usually what we find in most of the ecosystems in the MENA region is that we find personalized individual examples of successful social enterprises, successful cooperatives, successful innovators. But having this holistic ecosystem needs a push from our end to join forces together. Thank you.
Thank you. I think everybody agree on the fact that if you don't have an ecosystem, there are not the enabling conditions to move forward. Thank you. The second question was to Nouha. Nouha? Nouha, are you with us? We lost her, maybe? Okay, we will try later on. Raul, you had a question. To whom? Two questions, okay.
Hello, Raul. Two questions for
Excuse me,
Fidele.
I'm here, but I just have a little problem with connection.
Sorry, Nouha, can you repeat?
I'm here, but I have a little problem of connection, Joe. So I'm here. I'm not. I cannot quit the Zoom link.
Okay, you didn't get the question.
Yes, please.
Okay. just to be sure that I'm reporting correctly, I think the question was about the legal framework in Tunisia. What, in terms of support for this kind of innovation and this kind of production, what is the legal framework? What you are facing in terms, I think, of difficulties, considering the legal framework in Tunisia?
Excuse me.
If
The legal framework. Are you listening to me?
yes, please. Noah?
Yes.
Yes.
Excuse me. For a project like whey valorization into Sardaut, several legal or regulatory aspects must be considered, like food safety and hygiene regulation, compliance with national food safety standards would be respected, good manufacturing practices and HACCP implementation for safe processing of dairy byproducts also. The by-project valorization policies, like regulations on the misuse and transformation of food industry by byproducts, especially dairy waste, and permits may be required for transforming whey into edible products. Also, labeling and marketing standards, clear labeling of ingredients and nutritional claims in accordance with local and international standards, intellectual property and innovation support, I think also, possibility of protecting the process or product through patents or trademarks, access to national innovation or eco-innovation incentive schemes. Also, environmental regulation, laws concerning waste management and environmental impact, like using whey reduces liquid waste, aligning with sustainability laws. I hope that I answers to the questions.
Thank you very much. And I think this is a good example of what someone, being a woman or man, but even more for women, have to tackle in terms of different layers of regulation when you think about agro-food system, because you mentioned at least 5. I mean, health standard, quality, certification, I mean, environmental standard. So it's a very, big challenge when you decide to go for an entrepreneurial pathway in these specific areas, at least. Thank you very much, Noah.
You're
Raul,
welcome.
yes.
Thank you, Anna. 2 questions for Fidele and for Noah. First of all, congratulations for your awards. And the questions are the same for the 2, okay? The first question is, what is the main barrier that you have encountered in the process of creation and growing up of your project? And the second one is, what can we do, CIHEAM, to grow your project? Thank you.
Sorry, the second one is what?
What can we do, CIHEAM,
Okay.
for helping you growing up your project? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Fidele, Noah, did you hear the questions? One was the main challenges, the main one you face when you were developing your business idea and the innovation. She left? Sorry, I didn't see. Sorry. So in this case, the question is also for Noah. Noah, first of all, you have already mentioned something, but if you should identify one main challenge when you decide to develop this particular project, and the second one is what CIHEAM could do to support your professional journey. Thank you.
Actually, there are many challenges. First, the technical challenges. I think what works at lab scale must be adapted to an industrial environment facing constraints of volume, constant quality, and controlled production costs. So we have be so respected and so, how can I say it? So engaged in working on those like this innovation types. The second is financial. it is difficult to raise funds for projects that still requires pilot testing and market acceptance. Investors are generally reluctant to invest in innovative topics, often due to the uncertainty around market integration and adoption of new products, I think. Also, commercial challenges. We must convince artisan bakers and industrial bread producers to adapt this innovative ingredient, which requires significant market education and awareness. But I'm convinced that cooperation with academia is a crucial level that the CIHEAM can give a lot for us. Because universities and research centers can play a key role in technology transfer to women entrepreneurs, especially in the agro-food sector, where many women start small and medium enterprises or startups.
Thank you, Nouha. And I think this is a message for CIHEAM and also for all the incubators and technology transfer centers to support this kind of new and innovative project, I would say.
Yes, please.
Okay, so Nouha, you are basically invited to contact the incubator.
I want to say to Nora that our incubator and all the laboratories, because we have a cereal laboratory, wheat laboratory in Asia, are happy to make all the support that she needs. Thank you.
We will be sure to put you in contact.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Exactly. You are both based in Tunisia, so I think it would be easier. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I can say this is a good output of today's discussion, in any case, the first one. If there is no other question, yes, Giulia. Yosra, you are still with us? I hope so.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, great.
Yes. Thank you. I wanted to ask you, because I know that you presented challenges of scalability and also the opportunities, but in general, since we know that livestock farming is a cause of gas emissions, so a cause of climate change, what can be done in order to have, like, what kind of collaboration and partnership you can have with the international organizations, CIHEAM, UFM, in order to replicate your initiative? So that would be the question.
Okay, thank you for the question. First, we have what the solutions or the developments that we already did. It is contributed all over, I think, all over the north and southern of Mediterranean. I mean, first we make some kinds of extractions from phytochemicals. They are very valuable phytochemicals from plants. They are adapted for the harsh conditions and for salinity and low water access in our lands. These plants are like leucaena and acacia and so on. These plants are well adapted for the Mediterranean conditions. And for all the countries, they have these types of plants, but they are alternatives. I mean, they are different from the conventional or the traditional feeding systems for the ruminants or for the livestock. So every country have her successful story, have her successful plans or alternative plans just to how to apply it for or to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. The main problem or the main question is not just to reduce the emission, but on the other side, we have to enhance the animal performance and the productivity. I mean, the energy that is lost in methane emission have to be reconverted in another type of a production. I mean, it will be converted into milk or meat. This is the way, or this is a successful way to reduce the greenhouse gas from these treatments. Another thing that we are using wastes. We are using wastes from the agriculture that are involved in the pollution for the environment already. Like rice husk in Egypt, it has a big problem here in Egypt 4 many years ago. They burn the rice husk and make some kind of the black sky or black cloud here. It means that here in Egypt, a black cloud. Now we have to convert these wastes into another types of products like biochar. Well, make some kind of modification, enhance it with another surfactant that can increase its absorbent for not just for the gases, but also for the heavy metals and for the toxins like aflatoxins or something like this. So these types of products that were already developed and characterized in our labs, and already we published many research manuscripts for this type, and we are going on, we are keeping going in these types of products. I guess I respond to your question.
Thank you very much. And I think also you touch a very, let's say, relevant and sensitive topic, which is how to get the right balance between sustainability and standard and the focus on climate mitigation, adaptation policies, carbon credit, and from the other side, the sustainability, also economic, of agro-food activities, especially when we are talking about small size in rural areas. I think this is a relevant issues, and I think this is also part of some of the project that CIHEAM Bari has been developing when working with women entrepreneurs in terms of regional cooperation. Just for information, the UFM in 10 days is going to organize a training in Brussels about the carbon credit scheme for private sectors and public sectors. And I will let you know, Yosra, if there is a possibility for you to participate, because I think it could be interesting from your perspective. I will let you know. Thank you very much. If there are not additional questions, I would go now from a different perspective, which is the perspective of, let's say, innovation center and think tank academia expertise, but also social enterprises experience. And I will start with Yasmine. Yasmine Houraiz, she is industrial engineering and business development manager and food entrepreneurs. So you do a lot of things in your life as all women, and you work for Amal Association for Culinary Arts, which is a non-profit training center in Morocco, which operates in Marrakesh in different locations, and you offer training opportunities for women from underserved background. And in your presentation, you are going to share with us what you have been doing in transforming the daily life, I would say, of women in this community. What you got in terms of employment entrepreneurship opportunities with the program, which is the sustainability from a social economic point of view of your activities. And the last but not least, I would say, how do you integrate the Moroccan culinary heritage in your training when working with the women in this community? Thank you. The floor is yours. You have a PowerPoint and a short video.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Yasmine from Morocco. Thank you for the invitation and the nice presentation. So today I'm going to present to you what the social enterprise Amal is doing in Marrakesh to empower women and also to preserve the Moroccan culinary art. So for those of you who don't know what's Amal, Amal is a non-profit training center that started in 2012 by Nora Fitzgerald, who one day she was in touch with some women from a difficult background, and then they decided to start a small baking business. And this idea grown up to a more developed training center that until now has trained more than 400 women. So just to give you an idea about how the social model is working, so it's basically a training center, a hands-on training center. And also we have three living businesses. So mainly we are working in the restaurant industry and the tourism, since we are in Marrakesh. So we have a central restaurant, a catering service place where we also do cooking classes for tourists in Marrakesh, and we also have a sign language cafe. I will go in detail for each one of the centers later. So to answer the first question you've raised, how does Amal help women to get empowered? So we are here from the kitchen to independence. You can see some main numbers of our empowerment. We have an employability rate that reaches 80% from our graduates. When we say employability rate, it's not only finding jobs for women, but also creating an advocacy with all our recruiters, and also following up with the women through all the recruitment process, and also keeping up with our recruiters to make sure that the conditions stay the same and evolve with the time. We until now we have trained more than 400 women since 2012, and the training is not only about cooking skills, but it's also a holistic training model where women can be trained on new languages, mainly French and English. Also some life skills, and we also provide psychological support for the women in need. Because as you know, most of the main criteria of our cohorts or women's selection process is, first of all, the difficult social and economical situation, but also their willingness and their motivation to be actively productive in the society. So just to give you more idea about the training, it's a 9 months training. It happens in all our living businesses centers, the restaurants, the catering center, and the sign cafe. And the women spend the 9 months turning around the 3 centers, also with some theoretical classes that they have with the chefs. And to answer one of your questions about how we are working into preserving the Moroccan culinary heritage through our culinary training. So most of our chefs are like women who has this ability to cook for their families. So they have this heritage from their mothers and grandmothers, and these chefs and women, these amazing ladies, are helping us transforming this knowledge. And through our culinary training, we're trying also to keep it alive and to document it and be keep it immortal in time. And in this field, we are also working closely with the UNESCO on immortal culture preserving program, and also through our cooking classes. Through our cooking classes, we offer a very authentic and traditional cooking experience for the tourists. So they come, they cook in the barbecue, they cook in the tagine, they know all the traditional rituals of making. So this is how we are helping to preserve our Moroccan heritage through our training and also through our living businesses, because also in restaurants we are one of the most famous restaurants.
I just don't like.
Sorry?
No. If I can ask to the technician just to mute the online speaker. Sorry. Go ahead. It was not for you.
It's okay. Yeah. Also, one of the things Amal is doing, as you all know, there was an earthquake in Morocco that attacked a rural region close to Marrakesh. And since we have this trust with our ecosystem, we had the responsibility of holding on our shoulders more than $800 fund just to serve this earthquake relief. And this pushed us to work closely with the rural region. We weren't involved in this before, but it was a good opportunity to work with them. So first of all, the first thing we did is serving food, because that's what we do best, and this is what everyone needs in their daily life. So during the first weeks of the earthquake, we've been cooking hot meals and delivering them to the families in the villages around. Then after that, we created 325 wood cabins, including hospitals, schools, and like the main facilities that people need. And now we are also working with on livestock and also on local products from the region. So we are creating an entrepreneurship model where we are working closely with the farmers, with the beekeepers to produce, to help them improve their production process, and also to commercialize their products in our main living businesses. And this is a project that's still going until today. So it transformed from relief to a long-term project with these people. And one of the projects that I didn't highlight, besides what we do as a restaurant and catering center and cooking class service provider, is that in 2018 we had some women who were deaf and who applied to the training. We couldn't say no, so we had them in the cohort. We empowered them. They become skillful chefs, and they can work effectively in the restaurant industry. But unfortunately, we couldn't find any recruiter who would accept them in their kitchen field. So this is where Amal has created this cafe, which has 80% of their workers as deaf people. This project started in 2018. It's a small cafeteria in a center, in a culture and language center, and it's a very interesting model and experience for us as an association, since we prove that having a disability doesn't necessarily mean not being included in the work field, especially for women, and especially when you have a disability it's only in communication. It's us that can't communicate with them. It's not them, because in their environment they can communicate effectively and they have no problem. So it's the environment that's not inclusive for them to work. It's not their disability to speak. So this is a very interesting project that I'm working very closely on, and we are developing this model to be a cultural exchange space for deaf community in Marrakesh. We're also working closely with many other associations that that train or that provide scholars like primary school lessons for deaf kids, and we're also trying to provide them with the service of with the network of recruiters that we can trust and that we are sure they're not using them, but rather than that, helping them getting the skills they need to accomplish all the missions they have to do. So in this project also we are working on creating a deaf tourist experience, which includes cooking classes in sign language, Moroccan sign language classes for people who are hearing or for people who are deaf and wants to learn the Moroccan Sign Language in Morocco. And we also work with these associations in tourism, in scholarships, and so on. So these are some testimonials from two of our trainees. So being part of Amal was one of the best experiences of my life. The people there are my second family. Thanks to Amal, finding a job was easy. So she's now a full-time chef at one of the most good restaurants in Marrakesh. And the second one says, Amal opened my horizons in the field of cuisine. It's no longer limited or closed for me. Despite my circumstances and age, Amal shortened the learning curve. And she's a head chef in a restaurant. And we have so many other success stories. And what we are working on in our training program now is to include an entrepreneurship follow-up with the women who choose not to work in a restaurant, but rather than that, have a project idea and want to improve it. So we are trying to create a program to provide them with support and capacity building to first know how to write a project, how to create a business plan, how to commercialize their projects, and then open the doors for them for all the fundings that are already there from the government or from other organizations. So this is just like a quick summary. If you want to get involved with Amal and want to sponsor a training, sponsor a deaf education and jobs, or also partner with us by hiring our graduates or providing us with specific training or any kind of potential support. And that's it for me. Do we have time for the video? Okay. No, I don't think so.
Sorry, I think the technician are going to stream the video.
Okay.
I'm asking, it's coming, I guess, because they have the video. Yeah.
It's a YouTube video, so it's gonna be easy to display.
I think
Yeah,
this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one basic of which is they earn money, but I feel that there's so much more to it. As much as this place is the story of empowerment of other women, it's also my story of empowerment. My name is Nouha. I live in Marrakesh, Morocco, and I'm the founder of the Amal Women's Training Center here. I absolutely love the work that I do. Here at Amal, we have created a place where women on and taking a lot of chances in life and come in, get this amazing professional skill set in cooking that they can then work with in any establishment. I really came into this work kind of by accident, and it was through a chance meeting with a woman who was extremely poor. She was a mother to 2 young children with no support from her father. To be with her and to be with the babies and to see that, for example, she couldn't afford to buy them formula, so she would give them tea and baby bottle. It almost seems ridiculous that we've created this reality, and when it's juxtaposed with like just some of the lavish lifestyle that we see here in Marrakesh, it just seems utterly morally wrong. You know, I thought to myself, you know, what's my role? How am I participating in this world? I think sometimes we become obsessed with this narrative that poor people have to work their way out of poverty, and we applaud those narratives without fully being honest of what, you know, the reality of poverty is. Almost every day I see examples of where that's an unfair burden of placing the burden of poverty on the poor person themselves. One of my big inspirations for this work is a woman named Giulia. She was a social worker in the 1980s. She especially worked with young women who were pregnant and were not married. Aisha decided that these mothers and these children deserved a chance to stay together, and that was like revolutionary at the time. She went on to build this amazing organization in Casablanca called Soltan. They have a restaurant. I remember being there, and I was looking around and I said to myself, it'd be really nice if somebody opened something like this in Marrakesh. She looked at me and she said, it's gonna be you. What? I came home from that trip and I called up 2 of the women that I'd been trying to call in other ways, and I asked them if they would be up for trying a cooking project. That's what we did for a year. It was just me and 2 women. By 2012, that all coalesced into Nouha. Amal today, at her core of its mission, has a training program. The training program is 8 months long. We try to select the women who are both in socioeconomic need and also have this spark of motivation that we feel like we can turn into a flame. Most of the program is hands-on, so they're in the kitchen, they're with the chefs and the trainers, and they're working very closely together. And so I think cooking is something you have to like see and smell and breathe and feel and all these things. And they really get to do that. And the food that they produce together is sold to actually paying customers. So the stakes are pretty high. We've had over 300 women go through the program now. Some of them have gone directly to become like the head chef of restaurants. But the important thing that we try to do is try to get them into the formal work sector. But for many of them, it's like the first work contract that they ever get. Starting a place at Amal really did not come naturally to me at all. I'm a more introverted person, I'm not a natural leader. So I went through a period where I really wanted to do this work. I wanted to create ML, but I didn't want to be in any way like associated with like seeing or receive any quote unquote glory. I wanted to just do it and disappear. I think it was like after a while, I just realized that I wasn't doing anyone a favor by disappearing. It's not like other people can exist more if you exist less. And now I feel like if I'm given any type of opportunity, then I seize it and I use that to speak this truth, which is bear witness to the strength and beauty and capacities of the women that I work with. Moroccan women are they're just strong, they're just solid. I think they make a grandmother who's never worked outside of the house, and you are this powerful person. I feel like I stand on the shoulder of the Moroccan warrior women who came before me. For example, if she had it battled in the trenches for decades, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing. I think it's really important for some of us to carry this forward. I'm excited to be part of this. I'm excited to learn from this women every day, to be part of this movement.
That's it.
Thank you very much, and very well done for the video. I like it very much. And I would say that this confirmed, in my opinion, two things. First of all, that underserved women are not only rural areas, they are in urban areas, like big areas like Marrakesh. And the second thing that you got to do something which is, in my opinion, very important. It is working with women in rural areas by bringing, in urban areas by bringing the added value of the traditional food and sustainable production in a community which is in the urban area. So the rural and urban areas bridge together through this, let's say, training center working on this. And I have a question for you, is because you mentioned that some of these women are working in restaurant as a full-time, with a full-time contract, a chef and so on. But generally, this is the main, let's say, opportunities in terms of labor market, meaning the easiest way to get a job is to become a chef, in a restaurant, or are they working also in other framework?
They're also working in other frameworks. In catering businesses, some of them became, like, now they have their own catering business, maybe from home, but they run a business by themselves in serving in events and so on. Some of them become private chefs in like summer houses and things like that. And yeah, that's it. And some of them becomes entrepreneurs, and that's what and especially entrepreneurs in the villages around Marrakesh, which is very interesting because most of our trainees, they don't live inside the city. They live like 10 kilometers away or something. Sorry. No, I'm good. So like in working with, if we consider like the perimeter of 20 kilometers to 30 kilometers a rural area, so we are working closely with these young ladies and integrating them in our training program. And we also provide them with scholarship and transportation fees, so we can make sure they finish out the training program. And most of them, because of some conservative context with their families or something like that, they can't like move definitely from the region of Marrakesh to live in the city and have a stable job in the city. So their parents, their fathers or their families support them to start a small business. And this is something we are working on like very closely this year with all our trainees who have this intention to make their own businesses in the villages around Marrakesh.
Thank you very much. And I think working with the communities in the peri-urban areas is important equally as working for rural areas, because this is where a lot of communities are located now, because they move from rural areas, but they are not fully integrated in the urban context. So thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry. Now, we have the last two interventions, which will bring two different perspectives. One was related to innovation and business development, again, from your perspective, working especially in the framework of the We for Med program, and you will tell us a little bit more. And then we will have a specific experience from a European project that has been already mentioned yesterday, which is grass sealing. And we will have on board today the Italian perspective, which is quite specific when it comes to the experience and the working methodology of the Living Lab. But I will first start with Noura, and I will give the floor to you, and you have a short PowerPoint presentation, right? Thank you very much. I did introduce you because we already did yesterday, yeah?
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you so much. I know it's towards the end of the day, everybody, so I'll be very short. I'll be very brief. Basically, this is a business model that were introduced to us within the framework of the Water Energy for Food program that lasted for 5 years, the one that I was talking about yesterday. And it's called the Black Soldier Fly. So one of the innovators had this innovation where basically this is a larva, like what is shown. It is breeded in plates or in boxes. And it takes around 14 days. This is the production cycle. And it is feeded on the food waste. It can be the food waste from the home, inside the home, or they can bring the food waste from like leftovers from the market, from the vegetables and fruit market. And as was explained earlier, there was the process of registering this business, having the classification of like that this is because it produces protein, and the protein itself is raw protein, can be used as biopharmaceuticals and also as a composting and animal fodder. So we worked with this innovator on developing, because they had their own like small factory for breeding this larva, but they wanted to expand because first they can buy the frizz and the mature large worm after being breeded for 14 days. So they solve the problem of women mobility in rural areas and also marketing. So we worked with them in developing a business model, and I'll just display briefly the business model. This is the boxes that is breeded, where it can be placed in a very small room or in a corner of the home, but it needs airing and it needs like a sort of arrangements. And when they put the fodder for these boxes for the larva, it produces, this is the black color is the raw protein that is collected after 14 days. So basically, what makes it hard for replication, it is a new business model that the fixed cost is larger than the operation cost. So it seems that it is moderate in US dollars, but translating it to Egyptian pounds, because it is $1 is almost 50, 51. It is really tough. And replicating this model as well, when we try to approach like government, national government projects that provide grants to women or assets to women for replication. They wanted to document this business case because they were afraid. Some people, they asked some environmental engineers, and they told them that sometimes they are breeded on like leftovers of wood, and they were afraid of like the environmental impact. So we worked with them on developing these business models on like how we can make it very small size. So they were producing like 556 boxes. This is the small size. We went down with them into 156 and 77 boxes. So basically 120 for the 77 box, the $120 means a lot to women, rural women, namely in towards the south. And these are like the average profits, average monthly profits for it. It's around from $30 to $60 to $220. But the beauty of this is finally an NGO, a large NGO in Egypt called Nahdat al-Mahrousa, which is also an incubator. They were really, they liked the idea. So they started by like 50 units, distributing 50 units for women in Upper Egypt. They started like a couple of months ago, started operation. And the point is, for displaying these business models, it is for scalability. If you would like to scalable this business model, we need to provide access to finance. We try to go to commercial banks so that they can provide end-user financing schemes to women. And they were not convinced because this company that sells the larva is the only producer in Egypt and MENA region. For them, from their perspective, from the commercial bank perspective, there is dominance. And in case they failed, this women category is very high risk. They cannot fund, so they offer them to provide them with an overdraft facility. And for the company, this was a huge burden. So we are currently working now again with this company on like trying to link them to the national government projects with the National Council for Women and with the Ministry of Social Solidarity, because they provide assets for women. This could be very good. But I believe that there is a need to document this business case. What are the enablers, the technical methodology? What are the success factors? Because even for the commercial, from the the public banking institutions that offers blended finance, and also for the national projects that offer assets, they need to understand, they need to make sure that this has proven technically to be like it is environmental friendly, it is safe, it is proven to provide profits for women. And finally, the last thing is like this is based on our recommendations from the Water Energy for Food program, because we have been through like supporting more than 80 innovators in the MENA region, that there is a need to document the success stories, because different business models have different enablers, different challenges that they face. So there is need to work on documenting these success stories, and also for agriculture, because most of the smallholder farmers, they face the challenges of climate change. So there is a need to link to an early warning system, drought monitoring system, that is also so that it can feed into these the financial institutions for providing credit to farmers, and also like policy advocacy for these with government, with the national large government programs, large NGOs, that these are successful stories that needs to be replicated. There needs to be support from both. Thank you.
Thank you, Noura. And I'm very curious to know what will happen to this business model if you will get money, because it's a very concrete example on what we mean when we say there is no one solution fits all. I mean, you went to the very specific case, you look for the very specific, working business model, which cannot be maybe applied to all the sectors or to all the regions. And you are still facing difficulties in access to finance. And the fact that you say there is a dominant producer is an additional challenge. So the idea of really looking in specific solution for the different categories and doing this exercise of segmentations of type of enterprises, specific context, specific value chain, specific actors of ecosystems require a lot of, let's say, work, finance, but also partnership, I would say. So very interesting to follow up on this. Thank you very much. And as I said, when we talk about supporting women in the agro-food system and in rural areas, there are different innovations that we can bring. One of them is the one proposed from Grass Sealing project. There will be a specific presentation from Sally, but we already mentioned it. And now Patrizia Pugliase from CIHEAM Bari, she is agroeconomist and senior researchers and development officer at CIHEAM Bari, and she is going to present the specific experience from Italy. And my question is, why a living lab can support women empowerment and transfer of innovation for women in rural areas? And the second thing is, if you can tell us one success stories, at least in Italy, from this specific project, which will end in 2025, in 6 months. And I think there will be a lot of, let's say, knowledge-based documents that can be shared in terms of how this networking and mentoring approach worked very well. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to Raul, the director, for inviting me to share, to contribute to this session. Well, to do the whole. I'm actually a bit, normally I'm not, but no, it's a big pleasure to be here with you, and also a big thank to Saragozza colleague for the very warm welcome. And to Anna, for this opportunity to share the Italian experience on grass sealing. Let's go directly into the experience. So we got, you heard about the project, and you will be hearing more from the coordinator. So I am co-leading with another partner, that is a practice partner, the Italian Living Lab. The Living Lab you heard are at the heart of the project, because they are the main tool both for accompany women beneficiaries in their individual and collective journey, innovation journey, but they are also for the project our main unit of analysis, because the project is also a research project. As far as the Living Lab, we were given specific instructions from the project. Every Living Lab had to meet 3 times per year. We had to recruit 8 women innovators, and also to connect them with a number of stakeholders. 10 was considered a good number, but of course we had the Living Lab had to be co-led by an academic and a practice partner. The project provided also for training of the co-leads who had to train also women in let's say using the tools that they could accompany their innovation journey. The idea was to have Living Lab meetings, group activities, but also have one-to-one mentoring meetings and exchanges with the stakeholders. Also, the project has provided for showcases event where basically women from the representatives, of course, from the different Living Labs could actually meet and present their stories, because it's true that the project did not want to confine the experience of the Living Lab to the local situation or national situation, but they really wanted to give opportunities to share the experience. And the showcase, the 2 events that we had so far, have been quite a very effective tool and occasions to do that. So there's not a map, I'm sorry, but let's locate the Living Lab. The Living Lab, the Italian Living Lab, is in Apulia region, that is the heel of the boot, okay? And you can you can see the 8 women that we recruited, who are these? Who are these people? Because we are talking about people. It's, of course, the Living Lab approach is a very established approach, pretty popular in many research projects. And basically, it is about the idea of accompanying innovators in understanding better in defining better their innovation idea and project, in defining better their objectives, in targeting their market, in understanding why they are innovative, for whom they are innovating. And also this is through a very interactive process that brings in the end innovators even to prototype and to test in real life situations their idea. We had to do that in 3 years time. So, and the recruitment was already a pretty interesting and reflexive phase. Now our 8 women are basically 3 farmers. One woman is working on organic extra virgin olive oil. She took over her father's farm, and she converted it to organic. But her project was not to continue the activity. Of course, she's continuing that activity, but the idea was to organize recreational tourist activities in the historical mill that is on the farm. She's not the only farmer. We also have a very young woman working with the eggs. Simple as it is, eggs and hens. And she has created her own label brand within the family farm. And also she's actually producing eggs, but delivering personally. And she has established a number of recreational activities, educational activities also with kids. And then we have a woman that is working with lavender and essential oils. Not a big innovation. I mean, especially in the Mediterranean, where maps are everywhere. It is, though, in the area, in the region where the Living Lab is established, because basically it's a region where we have almond trees, vineyards, and mostly olive oil. So lavender was really a big innovation. That's why, for example, old men that passed by her farm, let's say it's a small plot. They were saying, well, what are you doing? But what is this plant? But you are crazy. You know, as things that you know very well had happened. But she has been determined with ups and downs, because ups and downs is something that we have experienced in these 3 years. And we have tried to accompany not only professionally the development of the innovation, but someone was mentioning the psychological support. We had women that wanted to drop, and not because they really liked to be with us and with the group, but at some point innovation was such a heavy responsibility that they had given to themselves, and they wanted to drop. So farmers, but we also have social workers, 2 social workers. One is basically working in a therapeutic community, working with drug addicts. And they have established a social garden project and a small processing plant. So the project was about better managing this newly established activity, which was not to be taken for granted, because their main job was the therapeutic community management. And we also have the other social worker is actually working with disabled kids, matching their skills, trying to find mechanisms, to test mechanisms to better match their skills with the market demand. Market demand of local enterprises in the area that may be willing to recruit, or at least to try to understand if there is an option for recruitment for these people. And we also have cultural workers. One woman is working with the public theater, managing a public theater company, and she wants to create events, establish events, engaging the local community to reconnect with rural traditions. The other cultural worker, she manages a local bookstore, But every year she also organizes an open air reading event where she invites authors, and she has, let's say, reading bits in open air, so in the landscape, in the rural landscape of the area. And actually it's very popular, it's becoming very popular. Her innovation was really to better understand how to engage the community, the citizens. And then we have also another cultural, the other one is she's very passionate about land art, and that was her idea, to have a land art event in the region. And she basically works as a cultural operator and tourist guide. So as you can see, they are it's a very diversified group. They know each other, they knew each other. Why? Because in a way, because we made a specific decision. We wanted to recruit in a specific region, well, not the region, the administrative region, but in a specific area, basically the area of 4 municipalities that not by chance have recently constituted what we call a biodistrict. Just give me some seconds just to explain what is a biodistrict. You can read the definition, but the idea of a biodistrict is to have an area where a number of actors, that could be public administrations, associations, operators, cultural, social workers, well as citizens, they come together and they decide to work together to, let's say, to manage sustainably the local resources, getting inspired by the values and the practices of organic agriculture. So this means that not the whole area has to be converted to organic, but the idea, the principle, the philosophy of organic inspires the local development activities. They have a plan. The biodistrict is a legally recognized governance mechanism. And so we had we wanted to recruit within this area, because we thought since the beginning that could be interesting both for the dynamics, could enhance let's say even the possibility, the potential of women innovations, and could be also a good sustainable strategy for sustainability. And you can see fragments, pictures from our Living Lab life. So what we had Living Lab meetings. We had research activities connected to these Living Lab meetings. There were sessions where we were proposing the tools to let's say to take their innovation journey, like the persona, the storyboard, I mean all sorts of tools, the Lego serious play. So there were more traditional tools and more innovative ones. Women have been very much committed, I would say. And we organized also exchanges with stakeholders, because the stakeholders could actually provide further training, further support to the project ideas. And we also try to include, to offer the opportunities, to women to expose themselves and their projects in other events that, for example, our stakeholders were organizing, or even the Institute itself was organizing. It has been a very nice journey. It's not ended yet, but we are now harvesting also the kind of results of impacts that this journey has generated. And in a report that we are actually writing, we interviewed women. We tried even to understand our own experience as colleagues. And we realized that, first of all, the whole journey, the whole initiative, actually, first of all, helped women to become more self-aware. They got the time That's pretty important. I think it's important message. They got the time because it was a suspended time. The meetings, the living lab, they had to leave families, work, everything. It was only 2 hours. 2 hours. It was half a day or a full day, but still they got organized. They had a suspended time and a place. Normally it was a woman, one of the women's place, the association seat, the farm, it depended. We stayed together. They had to leave everything outside and they could concentrate on themselves while they were doing that. Was it good? Was it worth? So this helped. I don't know what I should do. Okay, so no problem. So they could actually reflect on their own life or of the meaning of this project idea. And they gradually got more confident and even more excited, I would say, deeply excited about their project idea. So they started to recognize themselves as innovators, which is not to be taken for granted because most of these women would not be the ones calling Sonia or any incubator, because they, first of all, they felt they did not really fit that procedure. They did not understand. For example, we had some problems even at the beginning to establish some kind of relationship between these women and stakeholders that are innovation-oriented stakeholders that are providing professional training, support, everything. They could not connect. They could not connect. But gradually this changed. So their own perception as innovators changed, and they established very interesting relationship, collaborative working relations, I would say, between, in pairs. They started working in pairs. So, for example, someone organizing an event was inviting the others to contribute with their own activities or the distillation of the essential oil. So that was something quite interesting. And clearly they started developing also some kind of networks. And they have acknowledged clearly that the living lab procedure actually helped them to professionalize their thinking about their project. So they said that, I don't know if I will, perhaps some projects are evolving, but for sure they will keep the tool that they learned as an important heritage of the experience, and they will keep working and thinking along those lines, feeling professional innovators. That is something quite interesting. And in the end, we were very much impressed hearing that the biodistrict that has been in the background all the time, helping us to organize, watching what the women were doing. A couple of months ago, they actually called the women as a group, and they are now charged as a group to implement a quite interesting project funded by the biodistrict to create a program of events to reconnect urban and rural areas. That is quite an important issue in the biodistrict vision of the local development. So, even beyond grass sealing project, these women have acquired the visibility individually and as a group in connection with the local stakeholders. So I think that this we are very, very much impressed of that, and it was not to be taken for granted because at the beginning, really, we were very much concerned about the fact that perhaps they were not the usual type of innovators we are talking about. But I think that in the Mediterranean areas and my personal experience also in other cooperation projects working on women's innovator, I think that we need to accommodate different definitions, or perhaps we don't even need to define innovators in some cases. But the spirit of innovation can be recognized and supported for the good of communities and individuals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrizia. And I think the choice that you did at the beginning of involving the biodistrict was the right one in terms also of sustainability. And the biodistrict is a very specific case in Italy in terms of also legal framework, which doesn't exist in other countries. But I think it's a very good practices maybe to be explored and replicated in other countries. Thank you very much. I know it's late. We need to go to take maybe 5 minutes rest because then there will be the wrap up and summary session, and Sally and I think the Secretary General of CIHEAM will, I think, share the conclusions. But there is any question from the public? Yes, please. Dina from Egypt.
My question is to Yasmine. Very interesting project. In fact, we have something similar, and you need to share more details on it. But the question is, how did you manage to convince those women to come to be chefs when in Egypt, at least, chef business is a male-only business. We've been struggling to convince women to join the trainings, and some of them started their own projects rather than being chefs in hotels or restaurants. Thank you.
So thank you for your question. Actually, we offer a holistic training for our trainees. So you can imagine a girl who has a very low self-confidence, who doesn't speak languages, and who has no technical skill in her hands. So our 9-month training take the lady holistically and also provide language training and psychological training. So she, at the end of the training, she's not only with a technical skill, but she's also a self-confident and empowered woman that can work in this type of field. We know that the restaurants field is a masculine-led industry, but through Amal and through our restaurants and all our living businesses, we proved that women can be as effective or highly effective as chefs and workers in the restaurants field. And also knowing that it's just a 9-month training, so everyone who has like a short culinary art training has to escalader les escaliers pour devenir chef. So at the beginning they are like commis, then they work on their career to become like professional and well-known chefs in good and known restaurants. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, my question is for Patrizia. Thanks to everyone. It's not a gender question. But my question is, why did you pick organic, not agroecology? Organic is expensive, and it has a certain niche with like maybe upper class. I don't know. So why why organic, not agroecology? And did you have any problems with like the finding sustainable certification, or not having enough farmers, or why organic, not agroecology? Thanks.
Thank you, Dina. Okay, the biodistrict as a concept, let's say, gets inspiration. I mean, the idea is to be based on values and practices of organic. Organic, I mean, even IFOAM, the international movement, says that organic can be certified and non-certified. So the concept itself actually is based on the idea of organic, which I mean the policy debate does not put in opposition to agroecology. So The idea is that in the Italian situation, Italy is quite a pioneering country with this concept. We have more than 80 initiatives across the whole territories and even more. In some areas you have, for sure, you have some criteria. The ultimate objective is to increase the conversion to organic, but agroecology practices and organic are quite coexisting. So the idea to pick organic is because we wanted to work with the territorial, very clear territorial area. Why? Because we thought that the innovation journey of women, and I think this is true in also, grass seeding project gave us this opportunity. But from my experience, I think that that could be a good idea also in other situations where you connect the innovation journey of individuals, you treat them, you address them as a community, as a group, and you connect their innovation journey to the local territory. Why? Because that makes sense. Because they can help with their own innovation journey. They can revitalize the community because they become visible to a number of actors, and actors get curious of what they are doing. They can improve their own innovation ideas thanks to the territorial actors that may be attracted from their ideas. But coming back to you, your question about organic, it's true that organic, let's say, it's in some cases it's still expensive, but it's also true that you can find organic in supermarkets. And the ultimate goal of organic is not to be expensive. So also working with not the so-called conventionalized organics, or the kind of organic sector that really tries to imitate the practices of the conventional, is precisely the idea behind the biodistrict, and also behind the genuine supporters of organic that really want organic practices to be for all. Yeah.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Carmen Martínez. Soy la responsable del Departamento de Igualdad de Cooperativas. Sí. Tranquila. Bueno, la pregunta es para Patrizia. Cuando me digáis. Sí, bueno, me presentaba, soy Carmen Martínez, soy la responsable del Departamento de Igualdad de Cooperativas Agroalimentarias de España y también del Departamento Técnico de ANCAE, Asociación de Mujeres de Cooperativas Agroalimentarias de España, cuya presidenta ha tenido esta mañana la oportunidad de presentar todo lo que hacemos desde la propia asociación. Bueno, quería felicitaros a todas y cada una de vosotras por la exposición que habéis hecho de los proyectos que lideráis, porque sin duda alguna también nos llevamos nosotras parte de todas esas iniciativas que estáis poniendo en marcha. Y dicho esto, la pregunta va para Patrizia como compañera del proyecto Grasili. Desde Cooperativas Agroalimentarias de España formamos parte de este proyecto, que para nosotros en sí ha sido ya novedoso, ha sido ya innovar, porque hasta ahora en materia de género no habíamos dado el salto para compartir con otros países qué es lo que están haciendo otras mujeres, precisamente para visibilizar el trabajo y para que tengan presencia en otros órganos de gobernanza y de mandato. Y en ese sentido, sí que me gustaría, Patrizia, ya sabes que lideramos la parte práctica, somos colíderes prácticos del proyecto dentro de España junto con Margarita Rico, que está vinculada a la Universidad de Valladolid, profesora, y ella lleva el aspecto académico. Querría saber, en los laboratorios que habéis puesto vosotras en marcha, ¿cuánto o qué de importancia ha tenido los stakeholders a la hora de dinamizar el laboratorio, el proyecto y contribuir más allá a la experiencia de las mujeres? Lo digo porque en España han tenido un papel fundamental. Hemos sido capaces de atraer agentes externos con los que colaboramos de manera muy estrecha, entre los que está, por un lado, el Ministerio de Agricultura, también el Departamento de Agricultura del Gobierno de Aragón, así como en modelos cooperativos también de aquí, el Grupo Pastores, y para nosotros ha sido importante y vital ir de la mano de ellos. Entonces, me gustaría saber, en el caso de Italia, ¿cómo ha resultado esa experiencia?
Thank you very much for the question. Okay, so stakeholders, we had identified stakeholders even in the project when the project was being drafted. And I mean, we could rely at the institute level on very advanced expertise on living lab management, because we have a group working precisely on open innovation. So, and with them, with the colleagues, we actually identified potentially interesting stakeholders, and we stick to them. As I was saying before, I mean, these stakeholders were identified how? Trying to find people that institutions that could, first of all, were working on open innovation, were providing training, were working with women. So, I mean, we tried quite to take a careful look at the regional innovation ecosystem, and we identified 10. After the very first meeting, we realized, as I was saying before, that there was a clear distance in the language, in the offer. So the offer of training, of support that these stakeholders were putting on the table and offering to our group, women were interested, but they felt they could not connect. They could not really enroll in their trainings. And it was not even because of the topics, but it was like they felt that they were in a different world. So we realized that, and we tried to, over time, first of all, not to organize very large stakeholder meetings, but we had, for example, a World Cafe with only 3 stakeholders, one representative of the bio district. That was for us a very important stakeholder in the area. Another expert of digital marketing. And so we were trying to better we tried and we learned about the specific needs of women, and we tried over the, let's say, the project life to match specific needs with specific stakeholders. So no large large meetings. And that's what we are also doing now. For example, in the coming Living Lab, we have invited a representative of the regional authority that will present funding opportunities for women, because we prepared that meeting also. So I fully agree, stakeholders can play a role, but you need preparation work. So, for example, what we did, we got in touch with the regional authority department managing the funding opportunities. We explained the situation of our women, their profiles, their projects, and we asked, do you think that you have any funding opportunity that can be of some interest for our women? Because we did not want to create frustration. And they said yes, so they are coming in the next Living Lab. So the idea is that our experiences, they can play a role, but you need to prepare let's say you have to establish the relationship, preparing from both sides, because otherwise, precisely, at least with our women innovators, they felt such a distance that they could not connect. So I don't know if I answered to your questions.
Thank you, Patrizia. I think there is a last question in French, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Three questions. Une, c'est pour le directeur de l'Institut. Vraiment, depuis hier, nous avons écouté des communications très intéressantes. J'espère que vous allez penser à nous faire une revue avec toutes les communications qui ont été présentées jusqu'à aujourd'hui parce qu'on peut s'inspirer, on peut vraiment partager des expériences. والسؤال الثاني للسيدة نورا يعني ah oui, hein? Mais elle parle pas français. Je parle en français, mais vous traduisez en anglais parce qu'elle ne comprend pas le français. Hein. Ah, d'accord, ok. Pour Nora, effectivement, l'expérience c'est-à-dire de faire la culture des vers, c'est quelque chose de très intéressant. C'est l'avenir pour tous les pays du monde, en fait. Et nous, en tant qu'association, nous avons une femme rurale qui, effectivement, qui a bénéficié d'un financement justement pour faire la culture des vers. Et c'est très intéressant. On voudrait vraiment partager cette expérience avec elle. Donc, franchement, c'est très intéressant ce qu'elle fait. Et puis, bien sûr, pour la Marocaine, franchement, bravo pour ce qu'elle fait. Simplement, c'est intéressant effectivement de valider les acquis professionnels de ces femmes qui ont un savoir-faire dans ce qu'elles font. Et je ne sais pas s'ils ont un système de validation des acquis professionnels pour qu'elles puissent encore valoriser ce savoir-faire et leur donner plus de dignité pour ces femmes qui sont en train de faire des choses extraordinaires. Et je vous remercie.
Merci. Je vais juste rapidement traduire. Sorry, I'm going to translate. In French, it would be funny. Sorry. So the first question was for CIAM, and I think I can answer from your side. The question was if CIAM is going to prepare a report or a summary about all the communication intervention that were done in these 2 days, and I can say yes. There will be also a follow-up, and maybe Raul can tell you more about this. The second question, the second comment for Noura was about the potential of the idea of working on labs that we'll have in terms of circular economy. And I also working on this, so she will be happy maybe to connect to follow up on this and to exchange experience on this. And I think you understood in French. Yeah, okay. Okay, the question was about what you put in place. I mean, besides congratulating you for your great jobs, what you have put in place in terms of mechanism to follow up with these women and also with the network that you have created to bring women in the labor market from these specific fields. Yeah, sure.
You understand me? Okay, perfect. So the mechanism that we are currently using is the continuous contact with all our previous trainees. That's from one side, and the other side is the follow-up and working on advocacy documents to label the recruiters. So these are the two major follow-up mechanisms we are making. And besides that, we also do like annual alumni meeting for our trainees that each year it has a specific theme or thematic to keep them up to date with everything that's happening in the work markets, and also to do connections between them and our recruitment network.
Thank you very much. And we have time for a last one. We can talk during the break or this evening at the table. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you very much to all the speakers. And I was saying, I think Emna can confirm it, but we are going to put all the presentation in one single big Google Drive and to share with you. And I think it could be a good idea to have a joint mailing list for all the participants to follow up in terms of networking. I would like to thank you, all the people that maybe are still with us online. It's very late, especially in Jordan and Lebanon, because we are 1 hour late. So thank you very much. And from the UFM perspective, because this is the last moment I'm going to speak, I spoke too much. Thank you very much to Raul, to the great, great team of CIAM Zaragoza. I'm saying this for the Secretary General. You have a very, very good team working here. And thank you to Yasmine. Thank you to Yasmine for your all continuous support and for putting me in touch with Raul a few months ago. And to all of you, I hope I can meet you, at least part of you, in Cairo in 4 months, and to keep working on this dialogue among all of us. Thank you very much, and thank you to all our speakers. Thank you.